All right, so in this one, let's actually improve the way the product page looks, the layout for it, and just get it kind of a little bit closer to actually where it's going to be in its final state, where we'll have our buttons for adding some descriptions and stuff like that. So before I actually jump into doing that, I actually want to create some descriptions for each product. So in our admin, we go into products, and let's just create some placeholder text here. And what I'm going to use is lorem ipsum text. So this is placeholder text, and it's really meant to show just what text could be. So I'm just going to go on here, lipsum.com, and actually create some paragraphs. So I'm going to do, let's just do like 3 paragraphs. Generate lorem ipsum, and then I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in here, save it, and then I'm going to generate it again. This time I'll do 5 paragraphs, copy this, put it into a different product, and I'll just kind of copy along and just I'm going to put the same one in all 3 products. Okay, so now if we go into our store and we do a refresh, we don't have the description showing up yet, but we will shortly. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change this into a page header. So if we go into Bootstrap's components, so the page of components, so let's go into it from the get-go. If I'm on getbootstrap.com and I click on components, we see all these down here, and the one I'm going to do is page header. So that's what it's going to look like at the end of the day. And there's the code for it. So let's copy that, go into our template for it, and right above product title, I'm just going to save that in, and we'll take a look. Do a refresh, and there we go. We got our page header right there. Obviously, we need to change the text, so we can take this title page stuff out, and I'm going to replace all of it and paste it in there. All right. Cool. So if I refresh, now it says product 1 and has this line underneath it. That's cool. That makes it look a little bit better, maybe a little bit more professional, having this header up there. And maybe at some point we'll want to have like navigation underneath here too to kind of get us where we need to go. But we're going to leave this like this for now. And now we need to change the pictures. We need to update how those pictures look. So what I'm going to do underneath the page header is I'm going to create a new row. So div class equals to row. And within this row, I want to separate it from pictures and description. So pictures over here, description over here, right? So I want to have all of my pictures in one side and then all of my descriptor and stuff on the other. So what I'll do is the first side I'll do div class equals column small, and I'll just do 4. Because if you remember, all of the rows in each, so there's a row and then all the columns within that row, it adds up to 12. So if on the outside I do 4, then the other side would have to be 8. Now within that is treated like little rows too. So this will still work, but it's going to be inheriting from this one. So it's actually going to, the biggest it will be is column small 4, with the exception of when it goes below small 4, then it'll be what this says. All right, so let's just see what that means. So if I save it and do a refresh in here, notice the images here got a lot smaller. And that's good. That's what we want to see. We want to see the images get smaller when they need to be. Otherwise, we will see that there's going to be some errors running, and maybe it's not going to look great or whatever. So on those small ones, we have them as going across 3 times because of this right here. So let's actually make it where it's just 6. And by deleting that, I just got it goes halfway through, and that's what's showing up down here. But that's not that great because we don't want the featured image down here. We want it up above. But we also want our description. So let's actually add in a new column. So column next to this, and this is going to be 8. Because it's going to fill in that other 12, basically. I'm going to tab these in just so we can see that they are within this row, and all of this is within this column for small. So if I refresh, I see that nothing changed. So let's add product.description in here, and now we see that text, but it's not showing up as the way we wanted it to. So line breaks, add that filter, and then now it shows the line breaks for that text, which is cool. That's what we want to see. All right, so now that we have this, let's fix the picture a little bit better. And perhaps we don't want it to be so much different, but yet different enough to where maybe the main picture is right here, and then there's some pictures below it. So that's where this is going to have to come in handy, is we might even have to do a full new for loop. So let's actually copy this, paste that in here, in the for loop up here, in the if clause up here, and then down here we'll say if not image dot featured. Then we refresh. Now they are pulled over to the side, which is good. That's what we want to see. So maybe we also want it to be where it's not column small 6, medium 6, excuse me. It would be all the way across no matter what. And that pulls all those down there. Since this image is so small, let's actually look at a different product. Let's look at the t-shirt one. That looks a little bit better. Now we have our featured image being a lot bigger, and we can actually get rid of featured now that we have that. And it's showing it up pretty nicely. And right below that div, I'm going to just do an HR. Just do a refresh, and now we have a line that's separating the thumbnail image with the main t-shirt image right there. Now this is starting to look good. It's starting to kind of come together for us, but you know, maybe I actually want to have all of this text and pictures like way up higher. Maybe I don't want to have t-shirt there. Maybe I want to have it here instead. So let's kind of see how that's going to look. So maybe instead of this page header, I'm just going to cut it out and paste it up here for now, just so we can see what it might look like if it's on the other side. On column small 8, I'm going to put that there and then add an HR line, do a refresh. That looks a lot better probably, right? So that makes a little bit more sense to jump in right into the picture, and then it shows that product right there. And perhaps we want to add some more stuff before this description, like the price and availability, and then maybe an add to cart button over here at some point, but we won't do that quite yet. Now, what about this product 1? See, we've got these little images, and we probably want to get rid of this one. It's not very good. And then product 3 doesn't even have any images, so we probably need to have placeholder images at some point, but we'll have to come back to that. For now, this is actually starting to shape up, so how about underneath our t-shirt, our product title, and before a description, I'm going to add another HR line here, and I'm going to add product.price. All right, so $29.99, and we can just say price. There we go. So that's pretty good. And then maybe like shipping free with $25 plus purchase, something like that. And then maybe a break. All right, so that's starting to shape up a little bit, and then maybe up here with this H1, we want to add in href equals to, I'm just going to put a hashtag for now, and then I'll class, I'll do pull right, so this is going to pull it to the right, and I'll just say add to cart. All right, so now we have this add to cart over here. We'll turn that into a button later, but for now, that's getting there, right? Like, I mean, what else more would we need specifically right now? Maybe at some point we would want to have customer views and all that, but that might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because do we really need that at this point? Probably not. We just need to actually create a cart that will allow us to accept adding to cart. And maybe we'll have different sizes and stuff like that, so we still might change this quite a bit, but for now, this is coming together. And then we will need to do something about this main page with how the size of the items are. Like, we don't want them to be staggered like this, especially with this image right here. All right, so in the next one, we'll probably actually create the cart, and we'll do some more stuff as far as adding to the cart and all that. But for now, this is a pretty good start for our product page, or at least a better start than what we've had so far. It's really starting to shape up to a real product page. With a few exceptions, of course. And also, we want to have it to where when we click on these, maybe that image changes to whatever image we clicked on. So that's going to be another thing we'll have to work on at some point too. All right, so we will see you in the next one when we add the cart.